All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do The Defenders. This is issue number 51. This is volume 1, by the way, the best series, in my opinion, of The Defenders. Although this is not the best comic. It's more like I see it as a one-shot villain of the week, throwaway story like that. I mean, come on, we have The Ringer. Now, The Ringer I believe, Spider-Man villain, or Spider-Man tackled him. Now, I'm not sure this is before he tackled Spider-Man and after. I've seen it just twice in the whole time that I'm reading comics, and this is the second time. And now there's way better stories with the Defenders, and I'm going to tackle them in the future. But the problem is I don't have everything complete. So if I'm doing a storyline, I want to have everything complete. So I thought, you know what? Let's do a throwaway story and see if it's good or fun, right? It's by Keith Giffen, Klaus Janson, and David Kraft. So this is a story before 51, right? When Scorpio and his brother Nick Fury, they have a fallout. They want to kill each other, or Scorpio is the villain here, right? And this is the aftermath where the Defenders tackled the Zodiac crew. And the Zodiac crew has all different Zodiac powers. You have if you are Sagittarius, your sign, and this guy is quick. He has bow and arrow and that stuff. And this guy's called Gemini. We have a guy that can turn into water, etc., etc. And Moon Knight came in. And I believe this was without Doctor Strange, if I'm reading it correctly, but I could be wrong. We have also the husband of Valkyrie. Basically her. She is called Barbara Norris, right? And this is Jack Norris, but Valkyrie is now, of course, a total different person. And so he's still in love with her, wants to get it back, but it doesn't really work because she's a goddess, right? She's totally different. Anyway, so this, like I said, I'm not going on all too deep, but it seems that Jack Norris was tortured somehow by Nick Fury and his crew, and he is angry at him, but he says, this is not how we do it. And I like the cigar going into these panels. There's some cool tricks in here that is not being used anymore nowadays, but it's very cool to see. And he basically offers him a place in S.H.I.E.L.D. somehow. Also, now that was weird. I have the Dutch versions, but not the aftermath. So it means that Moon Knight was drowning, right? And he escaped, but nobody knew how. And I thought, okay, so Scorpio tossed him a beer, as a last resort so that he can die in peace. And now this is how it, also this is a can, I'm just seeing that. So he's drinking the can, but, breathing techniques and the oxygen in the can, he was still alive. That's how and then he escaped somehow. I didn't know that, but This is the aftermath. I said, oh, this is what had happened 30 years ago when I read those issues. It's so crazy. And then this is in Russia when Russian Secret Service picked up a woman called Dr. Tanya Belinsky, and she is the new Red Guardian. She's going to work for the one that has codename Sergei. All right. So we probably tackle this a little bit later. I believe I have the whole story when she's becoming or is the Red Guardian, which could be fun. I didn't even know that Keith Giffen did this book, by the way. Lots of ads in here. So we see Kyle with Val here, and she says, hey, you need to get an education, and it's going to be good for her, right? And instead of, battling supervillains all the time. So he's sending her to, to college. Of course, it's going to be all obstacles for her, right? So she said, hey, you need to go to room 207, and she needs to fill in some forms. So this whole page is going from, she's being lost, she's getting angry, she is filling the forms, and I believe she is filling the forms for a couple of times because she is clumsy. Standing in line for the whole day makes her angry, and this guy says, no, you need to go to another room, and she's getting more angry. There's some funny bits in here, but also some human it's not all superheroes and monsters and demons and that. There's also some this stuff. She says, "This is all wrong. You're not paying attention." And she has to do a new form, and then she breaks the table. Meanwhile, we have Kyle Richmond coming to his company, and there's police here, and there's a guy in here. So they say, "Hey, I'm Lieutenant Keating, and there's a villain called the Ringer," right? Now look at this ridiculous-looking costume. This was not the costume when he had when he was battling Spider-Man. All right. So Kyle comes here, and he's, Nighthawk, right? So when does big-time superheroes like you bother with petty criminals like me? He said, well, that's a rhetorical question. So he's shooting some rapid-fire rings that he also can control. It's more like an experiment. Looks cool, but what people probably do not know, or maybe they do, Kyle has not much superpowers. He has some powers, but his flight comes from a jetpack stumbled on his back, strapped at his back, but you never see it because he has this bird cape. So his powers is, in my opinion, useless, and that's why I have a hard time rooting for this guy. His powers is he's getting stronger at night. How strong? Do not know. Could be double, could be triple, could be 1.5. Who knows? I think it's a pretty weak power. I mean, just give him some flight powers or something, right? But in this particular case here, it has the story without the backpack serves its purpose because it's crushed by these rings here. And he's also, so Ringer says, you deserve for whatever you get for being stupid enough to play superhero for someone else's money. And this guy is talking like some kind of a socialist or something because, rich people bad and capitalism bad, but not if I have it, right? So Kyle says, hey, we just need to, the law is the law. And so he throws this backpack which broken to the Ringer. And I like the explosiveness. There's some kinetic action here. He says, outright, the rich make the laws and use force to keep the poor down. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. We live in a capitalistic world. And to be honest, capitalism works if you like it or not. Socialism never works, right? I mean, unless you want to do, go into countries like Russia or other socialist country which has, well, let's not go into that because this turns into a rant. Let's not do that. Anyway, my opinion, right? And anyway, so he's barraging him with more rings. Now, I thought to myself, how does he get these rings? Now, from what I remember, the Ringer could, I believe the Tinkerer, did something, a modification about this suit, that he can create rings out of thin air by creating rings from pollution or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, not sure this is the case here, but still. He says, I never swear what makes you guys tick. Think about this, you bird-brain goody two-shoes. If Richmond hadn't inherited his whole outfit, what he would be today? Why should I have scroungs while no tellers like him have an easy life? Right? That's what people say about Elon Musk, right? Although he's making rockets to go to the stars. No answer, huh? Sorry, I can't stay press my point. But I got to split with the loot. Meanwhile, we have Jack Norris, and he needs to talk with Valkyrie, because there has to be some kind of a decision if she wants to be with him or not. But I already know the answer. She says, "Hey, I'm Valkyrie now. I'm not the woman you married. Let's go our separate ways." But he wants to fight for her or something like that. We have Patsy here who has a fight, quote unquote, with a coffee can. For the love of Pete, that cockamamie coffee pot is cruising for a bruising. That 80s slang, man. Love it. So he says, hey, I'm glad you're here. But he says, no, I want to talk to Val. No. Let's go outside and talk about that. it's high time I had a talk with you about your life anyway. Okay. It's probably not good. More ads. Meanwhile, Kyle is using his cape as a constriction device. It's not a whip, but more like that he's, holding this guy. Looks great, right? And also he's now making the joke and he says, "What's the matter, Ringer? No sense of humor when you on this receiving end? Speak up, I can't hear you. You enjoy this, don't you, Nighthawk? You get your kicks from all this violence." Yeah, he says, "I'm not going to deny it. As a matter of fact, I do." But then this is a weird one. So he's almost broken his wrist while he's getting booted. Can't boot. Out of the way. "You're a sick one, superhero. You hide behind the law to satisfy your adolescent urges. What are you on about? I just want to indulge in sanctioning violence and bask in hero worship. You're a hypocrite. You don't really give a damn about injustice and inequality of the system you serve." I mean, this could be speaking points of, I don't know, 2022 or something. This is crazy. At least I admit I'm looking out for my own interest. Yeah, that's the thing, right? He admits, I want the money, but those people, no. It's just, no. I'm doing this for the greater good. Check mark behind your name. That's all that crap. Sorry for coming up with all this socialist crap that we have to endure for many, many years. It just grinds my gears. Kyle knows that he's using, psychological banter to throw him off. And so then, the Ringer uses his rings as some kind of a whip. But Kyle says that he thinks he's a seasoned pro and a self-styled master of the night. That's a lie. Dude, you're not even that impressive. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Kyle, but, he's the rich guy that is funding the whole, the Defenders group. It's for him, it's really important that the group exists, right? He wants to have some kind of a purpose outside of him being a rich guy. So he has other motives than, like, say, the Hulk or Valkyrie or Hellcat. For him, it's more personal. Anyway, surprise, superhero, you must be a masochist, or you must be very well paid to put up with this kind of punishment, or both. You're fighting for the money as fanatically as if it were your own. Well, it's his own, right? He's with Kyle Richmond. He doesn't know that, of course. But it's mine now, and I'll be able to live as I like. No more manual labors in NASA labs. At last, technology truly enriches the life of the common man instead of cheapening it. And so he's out of rings. So he's getting a boot to the face, and he says, "Damn you for interfering. It's going to cost me a fortune to get my teeth fixed. There is still no way you can stop me from reaching this window or escaping with the big bucks." Great dialogue. And Patsy has a talk with why am I forgetting his name? Jack here. Right, so to say, hey, you should get over her. It's not going to work, and you need to have a different perspective because he's bitter, etc. And he says, how do you think I feel? I mean, he raises a point. He says, I live with a person for whole my life, and then suddenly that person acts like you are not existent, like you are a stranger. How should I deal with that, right? Because he's still in love with her, right? And he feels desperate. Meanwhile, the Hulk is raiding some guy's hot dog stands. I love it. It's great. And then we have Val, who is a little bit shaking up because she's battling, unholy monsters and gods. But this filling the forms and the registration destroys her calm. And then this guy comes in and he's calling himself Dollar Bill. And he's quite bold. He says, you got those registration blues in your eyes. I've been there. I know how you feel. You're a very mature-looking woman for this campus part, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying so. Mature? No offense, man. Mature women turn me on. They really do. What's your name? Valkyrie. Of course it is. So another guy that spills coffee. There's some weird design choices here. What's his face, by the way? He says, "Can I join in?" And basically this is going to be a friend group that is coming, that's been into the Defenders book a little bit here and there. They pop up here and there, right? And ads, more ads, a lot of ads. Meanwhile, Ringer is free. Not so fast, Ringer. I listened to your warped reasoning, but I don't want you cutting out before I have a chance to reply. You're as much as a hypocrite as you claim I am, Ringer. Old friend, your outrage at Kyle Richmond isn't because what he's done. It's because you can't be him. You're just jealous. Isn't that the truth, Ringer? You're jealous of Kyle Richmond. Or Richmond. Hey, Ringer, did you catch that last bit? Pretty sweet point, huh? I trust... the trust it was well taken. All right, he's stumbling back because he thinks that Scorpio or another version of Scorpio did a number on him or somehow. Meanwhile, these people are now friends or something, and he says, hey, let's go to the movies. And this fat slop here is throwing stuff on the floor, but hey, who's this foot there in the shadows? And so this guy is getting a pull to the guts. This guy's called Lunatic. That is important for later issues. I mean, like I said, if we got the complete thing, we're going to tackle them. So what do I think about it? It's just a fun time waster, We're going to show... I like these second-rate, third-rate, fifth-rate villains. But also, I mean, Kyle Richmond, he's never a solo guy. I mean, he was... Oh, man. Well, let's say there's another Nighthawk with another superhero team on Marvel that comes from another dimension, right? From another Earth. And this is another version of that. The other one has a blue-black costume, was way more intimidating, almost took over the Earth, along with the other ones. I mean, I forgot the superhero name. Hyperion. God, I forgot the name. Anyway... not really important, but I thought, you know what? Let's highlight this guy a little bit more, see where this is going, and give him a little bit more, heroic stuff to do in his own book, because the Defenders is a team book, right? And I like the team dynamic, but sometimes doing solo work in a team book could be fun. Like I said, it's a time waster, fun time waster. It's depends how you look at it. It's not, and the Ringer, he's a crazy coup. Crazy guy. Hope you like the video, guys. I see you next one. I'll see you on the next one, what I'm trying to say. Bye-bye.